Stable, controlled, yet still powerful and buttery, this is the Head Gravity MP XL. Unique in its spec, the Gravity MP XL sets itself apart from the rest of the rackets with its 27.5-inch length, 100 square inches, 16 by 20 string pattern, 22 millimeter beam, an RA of 58, and a swing weight just over 330. That translates into extra power on groundies and serves with a generous sweet spot and all the stability and feel up at net. Featuring auxetic and graphene technologies, this rare extended length gem is worth demoing if you're an experienced player looking for a unique hitting experience. The Gravity line of rackets is not one that I tend to gravitate towards because of that more flexible feel. However, we have a racket specialist in-house who has been gushing over this racket. I was so excited to hit with it more, and he was right. It's such a fun hitting experience. As we will often allude to, this goes into the guilty pleasure. Anything usually that is extended for me is a fun racket, but the 100 square inches with that 16-20 string pattern plus that buttery smooth feel and the thinner beam, it's really such a unique racket. I tend to like rackets that are extended and a little bit stiffer, so this was so different for me. I really felt like I could feel the ball on the string bed, super plush hitting experience, and still really dialed into my shots. Really easy to get depth as well as spin. Super fun at the net. I mean, it might just be more of a thought thing, but I always feel like I have a little extra reach, even though it's just a ½ inch longer up at net, and I felt in command right up there. And I've been having so much fun with my first serves. And this one was really fun to deploy on big flat first serves or into the body, as well as the tee. All in all, this is one of those rackets that I'm just gonna keep going back to when I'm looking for something different, something fun to hit with, and that 330 plus swing weight is right in my wheelhouse. So this was such an awesome play test. Excited to hit this racket some more.
I'm typically not the guy to use puns as a way to segue into these racket reviews, but I have to admit, like a tractor beam, I had a really strong gravitational pull towards this XL MP. Actually, this racket was my favorite of the Gravities. We had a sample of this racket, albeit it was in a slightly lighter form a couple of years ago, and I thought it was just a gem, so I cannot tell you how happy I am that Head released this frame. This one is packing a little more weight-based power than the other at about 305 grams. It still retains, like the standard length MP, 100 square inch shoot matched with a 16-20 pattern. And I gotta say, you know, if you're looking for extra room or plenty of room on the handle to control the action with two hands, this one affords it. You've got a high swing weight. I could feel from any part of the court where the power and the control is coming from. And like I said, 305 grams is giving you some weight-based power. The extended length affords even more, a little more length-based power. And I definitely feel the swing weight being in the 330s contributes to powering this racket as well. Everything on the control side would involve the thinner, more flexible beam. I think this thing is running somewhere around an 8-point headlight balance, even in strung form. And then the 16-20 pattern, I would say for me is better than the 18-20. I can still access topspin very easily without sacrificing the quality of like a low linear backhand slice. Overall, I really can't say I had a favorite shot. I would just say this racket packs all court capability from anywhere on the court. Love this play test.
I've always been a fan of the regular Gravity MP, but I always thought it just lacked a little bit of pop on serve and a little bit of court penetration on my ground strokes. The ball just kind of would sit a little bit and not push through the court. With this longer length version, it's totally fixed those issues for me. I'm getting much more pop on my serve, hitting really nice big serves. Both my first serve, good pace on that, getting good access to spin on the second serve, and most impressively, I still feel really accurate with the racket, so my consistency is good as well. And then on the baseline, just enjoying that faster ball speed off the string bed. I'm watching the ball just push through the court and do a little bit more damage to my opponent, giving me more short balls, more opportunities to attack the net, at net. Beautiful touch and feel on the volleys, so I really enjoyed this play test, and it's actually, I think, my favorite Gravity right now.
Having tested previous iterations of the Gravity, this XL addition to the family, I really appreciated it. With the Gravity Pro, I really liked the feel, the mass of the racket. I really felt like the only knock I had on that one was the dense pattern at times, getting that launch angle and getting, you know, a little more shape on my ball. And with the MP version in the regular Gravity line, I liked the spin potential, but that racket just lacked a little mass. So I think this XL version really hits the sweet spot for me. It's got the 305 grams unstrung, kind of like the Gravity Tour. but with that extra length, I get a little bit more plow through, a little bit more reach from the baseline. Also up at net, kind of like what Michelle was talking about there, and really good spin potential. I think for a 1620, the string spacing is pretty open, especially in the center mains here, so I'm getting that easy lift, launch angle from the baseline, easy spin on the serves, but still enough control where I felt dialed in. And that's one thing with the 100 square inches. I typically play with an extended length racket, but I use a 98 with the E-Zone. I still felt like I had pretty good control and precision here, and I just love the comfort from that 58, that low flex rating. Even with it being under 60, I was kind of worried about the stability, but still nice and stable up at the net. So all in all, out of the head rackets, this is definitely my favorite Gravity, and maybe right up there with the Radical Pro as far as rackets that I really like in stock form. For this review, we tried a variety of different string setups. Today we have the Head Lynx Tour in the 1.25 at 52 pounds. We also tried some strings like Hawk Touch and Hawk Power. For more information on this racket or anything tennis related, be sure to head to Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.